Hey all. Well, this might be a weird video, but I wanted to be somewhat satanic. I didn't really realize that the filter was red, but looks kind of cool. Um, there's been some issues within the satanic community within Chicago, which I don't really approve of and disapprove of. Um, I helped, you know, get their little shindig together back in December, keeping them from freezing their ass off next to Navy Pier. I don't really think too much about it, just helping out friends and shit like that. Um, the team that didn't have a warm car running like we did literally got frostbite. I hope he's feeling better, actually. Looked pretty fucking horribly bad, like zombie type shit. Um, anyway, shortly afterwards, they had a meeting that I couldn't make because I was volunteering at someplace else, and I had noticed that uh, I got a message shortly afterwards, which I couldn't reply to because Facebook's like that. They can't really reply to something like that, and to me, it's pretty unprofessional. It's pretty cowardly that you can talk shit to someone and just walk away. I've seen people like threaten to kill me and then kick me out of the chat room, delete the chat room, and I can't even like screen cap that to show the cops. So it is pretty frightening that people are abusing Facebook to abuse other people. Um, but in this message, it said that I think the message came from Brian or Clarence, one of the two, um, that I can't be a member since they officially became a community because the bitch ass group in fucking Denver that had threatened to uh, pretty much take legal action against me even asking why I got banned. Uh, ran their fucking mouth in Chicago, from apparently what they told me, and I can't be a member. While that did kind of hit me pretty hard, it hit me pretty hard that this douchebag blocked me so I could even ask why. I still don't know why, what happened in Denver. All I was called was dangerous, even though I had a supporting letter from my lawyer saying that I was an alright guy. I had taken psychiatric um, counseling and, checked out that just fine. I took a road rage class, got an award for that and knew my lawyer for a complete year. Um, so I couldn't really think of what the hell is actually going on. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty pissed and frustrated because I did spend some considerable time and energy and money to help out these people. Um, and the night before, I got this message, which I thought was a conjunction to this message I got from Brian or Clarence or whomever was that I was hanging out with this guy named Holiday. I forget his last name or some shit like that. I kind of took him off my friends list after this happened because I I overreacted. But in my defense, I acted as just honestly. I mean, just hear me out first. I grew up in Czechoslovakia um, as a Roman Catholic. Um, I always looked at God as yourself. You are your own God. You create, you destroy, you captivate, and you you kind of make your own path. You make your own religion. You make your own belief as you go on. Um, that's why when I went through church, I always found it kind of odd that even though we had one book, there were multiple versions of the book, and multiple people believed in different um, outcomes of the book. Um, like everyone had a different take on it. Um, I, on the other hand, just believed that I was my own Zeus of sorts. I was always a Greek mythologist. I saw the metaphor behind everything, and I went with that. So when I met with Holiday, he didn't really give me the time to actually explain that. Kept interrupting me and saying that I had to renounce pretty much my memories with the Roman Catholic tradition that I had, went through. And, I loved it. It was like if I look back, it's very scenic. It's in Europe. I mean, the Vatican, meeting the Pope, you know, um, going through the old vineyards of Italy, crossing the borders and stuff like that. Um, and I really think that, I don't know why I turned blue. um, it's my first time using this stuff. Oh no, I'm starting to read again. My aura is going weird. Um, uh, but Holiday kind of like, you know, went into me about being Roman Catholic and I have to give that up, and then went further into disparaging me. And this is at my friend's house. This is in front of like, my friend and my other friend who's like in the corner and so on. So, they'll defend me on this. Like, this guy really went off on me. And I don't know if it was the beer talking or whatever, but, he was like, oh, you're all into demons and shit. And I'm like, no, I'm just, that's just my fancy. I like the imagery. It means a lot. I've gave it a lot of thought. The horns kind of mean, growing, in a sense, and well, it means more than that. But it's hard to get into, in such a short video. I'll save it for a different one. But I just couldn't even get into it with him. He, you know, he asked me, what my issue was, and I'm just like, it wasn't really like him asking me. It was just like, the only issue I had was, you know, us doing this pro-life thing. And he's like, well, what's your issue with that? Because apparently he was very adamant about, me being pro-life or me not being a member. And I'm like, pro-choice, because they're doing a counter protest for that. And I told him, like, well, I'm not here to get in the way of that. It's just that, I don't know if you guys saw my post. When I was growing up, when I turned 20, my dad told me that I was a failed abortion, that they actually were pro-choice and they had tried to abort me and it failed. And for my father to tell me that, it was very traumatic. It was very like, I was very beside myself. I felt that, both my parents didn't want me around, and that's how I felt my whole life. They treated me like trash. It explained a lot. Um, it explained, like, why my sister treated me so vile. Um, it explained uh, why I felt so depressed from all this, and it made me more depressed. And so I left my family for 10 years. I went down south. I went to go see my friends, work in technology, werewolf community, vampire community, gothic community. That was all fun. Um, I didn't believe too heavily in it, you know. And to me, it was all like fun and games, and you know, um, everyone finds. I was really heavily into LARPing when I was up in Chicago like 10 years ago. So, and I always played the local werewolf, dressing up and uh, you know, battling people in the field, and that was always fun. Um, but apparently, people down south take a little bit more real, and that's why I went down to go, you know, figure out. And I made a lot of great friends out there. But you know, it's getting back to holiday. I in that topic, the you know pro life topic. You know, I it's hard for me to say because I it doesn't come across normal people like you that aren't aborted or tried to be aborted, but I am one of those people that you know have been told that someone tried to kill me before I was even like born. Um, and I failed, so it's kind of hard to take in. So, but you know, being as old as I am now and being that wise, and I've helped so many people, and I think that you know, for a miracle like me to survive like an already a death sentence, because you know, people that are living that get the death penalty and they survive the electric chair, you know, they don't um, they don't get the double jeopardy. They don't get to go back into it again. I don't think, from what I heard. I don't know, but yeah, I feel that you know, as someone that should have died before I was even born, and was told that, I've helped so many people out in my life, and probably saved so many, and probably impacted so many, and you know, it's hard to look back. It's hard to change the past. Um, so I mean, I have to by nature, you know, be pro life because I I see life as like I shouldn't have been tried to be killed. Um, Another thing is that Holiday called me very Holiday called me worthless. He said that I was worth less than his problems, and I mean, you know, my problems were worthless and all this shit, and it really affected me. I mean, it's within the rules that he stouted that, you know, he was talking to Brian at the time about being some chairman or something like that, and texted him at the time, so I thought he was talking about me, but he was like, you know, getting that message right after he texted Brian from Brian or whatever really felt like I I was extremely hated. Um, Sorry, I'm gonna like, yeah. But so that made me blow up, and DJ Satanic ended up, you know, blocking me, and so did other people block me as well, and it infuriated me. It felt like I was attacked. You know, it felt like a really cheap cop out, where I'm not even being told why I'm being kicked out. I'm being threatened to even ask why I'm being kicked out. And because I fucking bitch about, like, this is what the fuck Holly told me, and how dare you guys fucking tell me that shit. Um, DJ Satanic told Austin that, you know, I was supposed to be blacklisted. And I'm like, you know, what the fuck is up with this shit? Even Grey Faction told me that, oh, we don't know why, but, you know, since TT banned you from participation, you can't be a part of our group. I'm like, well, it's the first time he's saying that, I'm banned from participation. Anyway, I'll look into it. Don't ban me.